Easter 1916. A history poem, Yeats. Researching this a little bit more today. And another poem of Yeats that he wrote near his life, the end of his life, called Under Ben Bolben, which is the mountain near where he lived in Ireland. He said in that poem, it's a very long poem, but he's giving these instructions to the Irish poets of the future, giving them all these tips. He goes, "Sing the lords and ladies gay that were beaten into the clay through 7 heroic centuries." For 7 centuries, the Irish were persecuted religiously, politically, economically, and culturally. Severe attempts were made to eradicate the native Irish language and culture. 1845, potato famine led to 1 million Irish deaths. 2 million Irish emigrated, many dying under horrible conditions on ships. And at the same time, this is 1840s, there was plenty of grain and livestock being shipped off of Irish estates owned by British absentee landlords, shipping out the grain. And at the time, we know this term from like Reaganomics, the laissez-faire politics of the English allowed them to ignore the plight of the starving Irish because they thought, well, you shouldn't interfere with business. You want to make money. If it doesn't work out for the people, well, that's just how it is. So the historical Irish enmity toward the British is vast. In this poem, set in 1916, it's about a rebellion for Irish freedom, and 15 of the leaders of the Irish rebellion are shot without trial or anything, and it turns the whole Irish population, brings them together in united guerrilla war against the British. And Yeats, at first, he wasn't that much a supporter of violence as a way to moving towards freedom, but after these people got shot, you can see in the poem that he kind of changed his mind about it. Okay, so Easter 1916. I have met them at close of day, coming with vivid faces. Vivid faces. From counters and desks among gray 18th century houses, I have passed with a nod of the head, or polite meaningless words, or lingered a while and said polite meaningless words, and thought before I had done of a mocking tale or a jibe, to please a companion around the fire at the club, being certain that they and I but lived where motley is worn. All changed utterly. A terrible beauty is born. That woman's days were spent in ignorant goodwill, her nights in argument, until her voice grew shrill. What voice more sweet than hers, when young and beautiful she rode to harriers? This man had kept a school and rode our winged horse. This other, his helper and friend, was coming into his force. He might have won fame in the end, so sensitive his nature seemed, so daring and sweet his thought. This other man I had deemed a drunken, vain-glorious lout. He had done most bitter wrong to some who are near my heart. Yet I numbered him in the song. He too has resigned his part in the casual comedy. He too has been changed in his turn, transformed utterly. A terrible beauty is born. Hearts with one purpose alone through summer and winter seem enchanted to a stone to trouble the living stream. A horse that comes from the road, a rider, the birds that range from cloud to tumbling cloud. Minute by minute they change. A shadow of cloud on the stream changes minute by minute. A horse hoof slides on the brim, and a horse plashes within it. Long-legged moor hens dive, and hens to more cocks call. Minute by minute they live, the stones in the midst of all. Too long a sacrifice can make a stone of the heart. Oh, when may it suffice? That is heaven's part. Our part to murmur, name upon name, as a mother names her child, when sleep at last has come on limbs that had run wild. Was it need? What is it? What is it but nightfall? No, no, not night, but death. Was it needless death after all? For England may keep faith for all that is done and said. We know their dream enough to know they dreamed and are dead. And what if excess of love bewildered them till they died? They write it out in a verse, Macdonough and McBride, and Connolly and Pierce. Now and in time to be, wherever green is worn, are changed utterly. Terrible beauty is born.